Hi, I'm Dave Poles.
And I'm Danielle Lewis.
Welcome to our Community Conversations podcast.
In our series of conversations, we will be spotlighting individuals and organizations who are doing fantastic things in Peoria County.
We'll be highlighting who they are, what they do, where you can find them, and even how you can help.
In today's episode, we're talking with Jami and Hannah from Big Brothers Big Sisters, Heart of Illinois. Dave, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Big Brothers Big Sisters is a phenomenal organization, and our goal is to get that word out. We're just really happy to have Jami and Hannah with us today so they can explain a little bit. Full disclosure, this organization's near and dear to my heart. And I'm going on a year now being involved, and it's just one of the truly one of the best things you can do. And kind of cliche, but the difference you can make too. As a member of that, Jami or Hannah or both, can you provide a brief summary of what Big Brothers Big Sisters does, maybe historically and present and even into the future?
Sure. Well, we are part of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. So we are part of a nationwide organization. Heart of Illinois, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been around since 1980. So we serve kids in our community between the ages of 5 and 18 by pairing them with an adult mentor that's going to help guide them through kind of that tough time in life of becoming a teenager and then kind of setting some goals and figuring out what they want to do post high school graduation. So a lot of helping set goals and exposing them to new things, which Dave can attest to, and both Hannah and myself as it being volunteers in the program as well. It's a lot of fun, and we've continued to grow over the past few years and are on target to serve 300 kids this year and continuing to do more and more and getting that word out there because we do have quite an extensive wait list right now.
How many littles do you have on your wait list?
Right now we have around 110. The majority of those kids are boys as well. So out of that 110, probably around, I think when we last checked recently, it was like 85 of those kids were boys waiting for a big brother.
Making connections and making that difference. It is not, there's, I think, a mistaken thing that, oh my gosh, this is going to take all my time. Not at all. You will find anybody who's listening and is even considering it remotely that it becomes more of a challenge to not do it all the time, and truly there's a wonderful system support in place where specialists can check in with you very often. As a matter of fact, I can just say the specialist Tina just checked in with me this week and wonderful with ideas and things like that. So I just want to make sure that also is part of your summary too. So
Yeah, we have a great staff here that'll help through the entire enrollment process. And then once you're matched, I think what makes our program really unique and special is that you do have a match support specialist that's assigned to you and checks in, is there if you need outing ideas. Also, Hannah does an incredible job of planning monthly match activities for all of our bigs and littles to attend. Those are free or low cost. So it's just something cool to kind of see other matches there and doing something unique. So we have lots of opportunities once you're matched, a lot of support from the agency. We're partnering with other organizations to help connect the family with things that they might need, help our kids with things like scholarships post high school. Like there's so much support in our program once you're matched with your little that it's pretty cool and unique to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Thank you for that. I guess moving on to one of the other things, and like every organization has this, could you tell us a little bit about what are the biggest challenges to the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Definitely a challenge. I would say number one is getting volunteers and lowering that number on our wait list. When it comes to challenges though, otherwise, it just kind of goes back to maybe like the misconception of the time commitment that you had mentioned. So that's kind of the biggest thing I think that kind of makes people question if they want to get involved with the program. But other than that, do anything that you can think of?
Definitely the biggest challenge, recruiting more volunteers, getting the word out there. We're a really small staff. Most of our staff are working directly in the program. So they're providing the support to the matches. They're enrolling volunteers, enrolling families. So kind of that outreach aspect is difficult. So we really rely on our board to help us out a lot with that. Our current volunteers to share their stories. Definitely biggest challenge with the size of our nonprofit and the manpower that we have is just recruiting more volunteers and getting that word out there.
Oh, thank you for that.
How much time does a volunteer then spend? You all said that there isn't as much time as you might think. So what's a typical amount of time that someone would spend with their little?
Yeah, so we typically ask that all parties in the match commit to being matched for at least 1 full year.
Okay.
And that they're meeting roughly around 2 to 4 times a month. But typically, I mean, we can be flexible too. So communication is the number one thing that we ask from people. One of the top things I would say that we ask at least. So as long as you're communicating with the family and the volunteer, like, hey, this month, I'm a little bit busier. Next month, I'm not as busy. So as long as you're meeting like the minimum time requirement and offering that communication, that's really what we ask for.
That's fantastic.
Perfect. I know that you touched on this a little bit at the beginning. Heart of Illinois, Big Brothers Big Sisters, is certainly part of a nation and worldwide organization, to be honest, too. Specifically, could you get a little more detail on who the program and the organization serves, as far as, because I think there's a misconception, we say Peoria, but it's actually a little more than that.
Yeah, locally we're Peoria, Woodford, Tazewell, Knox, and Fulton counties, and serving kids of all different types of backgrounds. So most of our kids are coming from low income families, but that's not always the case. And the only requirement for our littles is that they want to be in the program. So we do ask them and, explain what Big Brothers Big Sisters is all about. But that's really the biggest key piece, is that they all are excited and want to be involved.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I think also for listeners who keyed into this too, and again, I'll throw the personal part of it too. Once you are matched, having that initial, for lack of a better word, orientation, perhaps, where you meet and you do talk with the specialist. It's not like you're not just thrown into this, like, hey, we found this great match and have fun, guys.
Right. Yeah.
Going a little in depth to that, how would that work when, let's say, you're matched?
Yeah.
It sounds like, both parties have some common interest, perhaps, or maybe not. What would be that initial step for anybody that's interested? How would that work when you meet that actual match for the first time?
So when our matches meet for the first time, we have a staff member that goes into either the house or into the school with the volunteer and the family. And they're kind of doing that initial introduction. So they're kind of getting everyone acquainted and, doing just small talk to get everyone to know each other at first. It can be kind of intimidating at first. I mean, especially for kids, you're meeting an adult that you've never met before. So definitely it does help with having our staff be present. The match sport specialists that will be taking on that match throughout its term will also be in attendance to that match meeting. So they're just there again to build that rapport with everyone and to just make sure that everyone's comfortable throughout the course of their match.
Perfect. Thank you. One of the things too that maybe listeners might want to understand is the difference. If you were to look at the resources from Big Brothers Big Sisters, the difference between site-based and community-based, because that's mentioned quite a bit in some of the literature and online resources.
Yeah, we actually have 3 different programs right now. Community-based mentoring, which is the typical Big Brothers Big Sisters model of picking up your little from their home and spending time out in the community. We do a really great enrollment process and really awesome matching process. So we're matching based on similar likes and interests to have a good foundation from the start. But we also have a site-based program that is taking place in our local schools. So you would just go once a week, every other week, whatever works for your schedule, to that child's lunchtime and just have lunch with them. So that was created as a really good feeder program for people who maybe are busier after work, but have that lunchtime that they can give up. 30 minutes to an hour once a week is easy commitment to make, and build that relationship from there, and always have the option of transitioning to our community-based program.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a lunch buddies. That's
Yeah.
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it's fun, and the schools love it because it gives that child that one-on-one attention during the day, and someone that they can talk to. Sometimes they read together, play games, work on homework. It's a really fun, good way to make sure that they're at school and staying in school.
Yeah, absolutely. How does somebody access the resources of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So when volunteers initially inquire with us, they can either go to our website. There's a information form that they can fill out. So basically they'll just put their contact information, and that gets sent directly to our volunteer enrollment specialist, who then reaches out once we receive their information, just to kind of do the overview of our programs, kind of see what maybe they think is the best fit for them and their schedule. after they kind of discuss that, the volunteer will complete a volunteer application with us. And then they'll do an in-person interview at our office, again with our volunteer enrollment specialist. And then after we get to know them a little bit, we do have to, of course, do like a background check just because child safety is our number one priority. So we'll do a background check, we'll do references and things like that. And then we also have our volunteers do a training as well.
Big Brothers Big Sisters isn't just for young people coming out. I think that was a misnomer. Some people might think. I can attest. Let's put it this way: I can usually get senior citizen discounts where places I. But I just dispelling that notion that there are ways to bridge the generation gap per se. So please, those listening, anybody in your community, if you're looking to make an impact in your community, this is definitely one way to do it. So thank you for that.
So no age restrictions then.
None at all. None at all.
No, we always say that like some of our best volunteers that we've had in the program are in their 70s or 80s even. So, and they've been matched for over a decade in the program, and our littles absolutely love them. So truly no restriction when it comes to age.
Absolutely. There's so many neat things that this past year has shown me. And again, you too can certainly attest that. Any upcoming events you'd like to share with listeners? I know there's some good things coming up, so maybe talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, you want to talk about November?
Yeah, sure.
That?
So in November, we will be doing a fall volunteer campaign. It's called Brovember. So what our goal is to really recruit more men in the community to hopefully volunteer as big brothers in the program, and to really help us focus on lowering that number of male youth that currently sit on our wait list. So what we typically do is we host either one or two socials throughout the month just for people to come out, hear more information, hang out with us. We'll do like a tailgate event. So this year it's going to be at Four Bros in the Heights at the beginning of November. I think it's on Sunday, November 3rd. So we're going to be doing that. People can come out, watch football, just hang out with us. And then we'll also this year we're focusing specifically on Bradley University as well. So getting more students involved on campus. So we'll be doing an event at the field house too.
Okay. Thank you. So related to that's some good stuff. People listening to this maybe just putting their social calendar together right now because it's a busy time of year, right? How can anybody listening to this support Big Brothers Big Sisters efforts?
Lots of ways to support. One, becoming a volunteer, obviously. We also have other, committees that people can join. We have a leadership council that is more of our young professionals board that comes together and plans a fundraiser for us. We do have 5 different committees that are subcommittees of our board that do not require board of director participation to be on. Fundraising events, we have 3 fundraisers that we have each year. Those are bowling, golf, and a luau. So lots of fun, quite a range of events to attend, but always looking, for financial support as well. We're completely donor and local grant funded. So it's a continual effort to continue to bring in money to support more kids in our program.
There are so many layers to this organization. And I think just to underscore what you said is that there's so many ways you can be involved, no matter what your commitment or your level of expertise be. I mean, Lord knows I don't know much about anything, but you certainly can find a way to be a valued match. So thank you for that. What else do I need to know? What's the one thing you wish people knew about Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Oh gosh. I mean,
there's a lot.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing is I love our tagline. Our tagline is Defenders of Potential. And so I think that really encompasses a program as a whole. Like that is the heart of Big Brothers Big Sisters. We have incredible kids in our program that just want some additional support from an adult just to help guide them through life. It's mentorship, I think, is so important at every age, but this is just such a vital, like a pivotal age for these kids to get somebody in their life that supports them and encourages them to be their best and to set goals and reach those goals. And we just have awesome kids. So I think that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's I would definitely concur with that. It's been truly an honor just to be part of this past day. I'd like to just conclude with number one, Hannah and Jami, your leadership is phenomenal. And not just that, but also all the members there, they work very hard. I've seen it. They work very hard at, again, defending potential. please, those listening again, especially to the audience that we serve, educators, that even if you're on the fence about, I don't know if I can do this, because again, when I met a year and a half ago, yeah, it's something I knew about. I was really interested. And in meeting Jami initially, and then Hannah, of course, I'm hooked. I will tell anybody, especially where my vantage point, and I think a lot of our listeners too, are always asking themselves, how can I do more for myself, for others? That's service oriented that we all have. This is one organization that really nails all that down. So thank you again for what you do. Thank you for the organization too. People listening, jump in. I mean, the water is fine. Okay. Please join us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of our volunteers say they get so much more out of it than the kids do, which probably isn't always the case. I think it's kind of an equal thing there, but our volunteers love the program just as much as the kids. So it's
It's a
wonderful.
win-win.
It is.
It
It
is.
sure is.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Hannah and Jami, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. For those who wish to become a big, go to their website. It's HOIBBBS.org. Heart of Illinois, Big Brothers, Big Sisters.org.